Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be talking about Intersprite Communication. That's a rather fancy phrase, and what it really just means is that sprites can communicate among themselves by sending messages back and forth. To understand how this works, we have to look in the control palette, because that's where we find the relevant blocks. So there are three blocks in question: broadcast, broadcast and wait, and when I receive. The basic idea is this. One sprite is going to broadcast a message. Now, to make a message, you simply click on the disclosure arrow here and choose New and come up with a phrase. It can be anything at all. I'm just going to say play. And I need to have something that triggers this block, so I'm going to have when I am clicked. All right? So when I'm clicked, so I've got just one sprite here. When this sprite is clicked, it's going to trigger this and it's going to send out a message, the play message. Well, what's going to happen to that message? Well, we're going to create other sprites. Those sprites are going to have a script, at least one, that includes a when I receive block. And we will choose when I receive play. Now, I'm showing this on one palette, or in one script area. In fact, this is going to happen in a different script area corresponding to a different sprite. So let's go ahead and illustrate that. First of all, I'm going to call this sprite the conductor. Okay. And then I'm going to create another, and I don't need this here, so I'm simply going to delete this and delete this one as well. Then I'm going to create several other sprites, and I'm going to call this first sprite player. I have this orchestral theme working here. So the idea is that we're going to have players in an orchestra, and of course we're going to have the conductor. Now the player might be capable of receiving a play message, and when it does, it should play something. To make this easy on us, we're simply going to go into the sound palette and choose play note. Now, I don't want all my players to be playing the same note. I want to prove that something's happening here. So I will go into operators, and I'm going to pick a random note. And I'm going to take a random note between 50 and 70. So every time this script is triggered, you'll get a different note. You may want to cover your ears by the time we get through this. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and make several different players. Okay, so now I have an orchestra of 4 different players. And I am ready to conduct my orchestra. So you'll note that each player, nothing seems to be happening here, but in fact I am looking at the scripts of each of these players. They happen to be the same. Now I'm going to go to I'm going to now click on my conductor. All right, this is the point at which you should cover your ears. Uh-oh, something has gone awry. There we go. All right, we have some interesting barbershop quartetting going on there. In any event, this is demonstrating the basic principle. The conductor is broadcasting a message, and all of the other sprites are picking up that message and responding. Now, not all the sprites have to respond to that, and you can have multiple messages, but this gives you the basic idea. In addition to the broadcast block, there's also the broadcast and wait block. Now, this block behaves like broadcast does. It sends a message to another script. The only difference is what happens after it sent the message. If you use broadcast and wait, this block is basically just going to stop here, and if you happen to have other blocks that follow it, doesn't matter what those blocks happen to be, you know, whatever they happen to be, these blocks will not get executed until the script that's been triggered has completed its work. So it's probably easier to give an example And let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to use the same example that I use in the document. I'm going to have two sprites. My first sprite here, I'm going to rename as Rocky. And then I'm going to create another. Let's go ahead and call this second sprite Bullwinkle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, when I am clicked, so I'm going to try and generate some dialogue here. So first of all, I need to have Rocky say something. And Rocky is going to say, Bullwinkle, do you know what an A-bomb is? Okay, it's going to say it for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to broadcast, and I'm going to say line 1. Now, so this is going to send a message to Bullwinkle. Over here in Bullwinkle, I'm going to say when I receive line 1, then I'm going to have Bullwinkle say, sure, a bomb is what some people call our show. All right, and I'm going to go back to Rocky. And so, so far the script is, Bullwinkle, do you know what an A-bomb is? And Bullwinkle says, sure, a bomb is what some people call our show. Then Rocky is going to say next, I don't think that's very funny. And then broadcast. By the way, I could be using duplicate here to save myself a little bit of effort, but in any event, I'm going to say broadcast and wait. And I'm going to broadcast line 2. And over here in line 2, so let me go ahead and in fact duplicate this. There we go. When I receive line 2, I'm going to say, neither do they apparently, right? So now let's see our to avoid copyright issues, I have not actually copied pictures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, but hopefully you get the idea from the names. So let's go ahead and see this. Bullwinkle, do you know what an A-bomb is? Sure, a bomb is what some people call our show. I don't think that's very funny. Neither do they apparently. So you get the idea. We're able to create a dialogue, and again, the reason this works is when we waited here, that meant that Rocky would go no further until Bullwinkle had finished uttering his line. If we had simply used broadcast rather than broadcast and wait, well, let's just go ahead and do that just to get the point across. So I'm going to use 2 broadcast messages. So I will broadcast line 1 and I will broadcast line 2. And we will see it's not quite the same effect. So notice I've got both lines appearing at the same time. So hopefully this has given you an idea as to how you can use broadcast and wait. And thanks for watching this video.